So you're looking to get more Google reviews for your business. This is the video for you, and I'm going to show you exactly how we get our clients hundreds of Google reviews for their businesses. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michael Tannich. I own a marketing agency along with other businesses like an accounting firm. I have a free weekly newsletter called The Midweek Marketer, where I give away one actionable marketing strategy that I'm utilizing in my businesses and in my clients' businesses. If you'd like to sign up for that and get actual marketing strategies for your business, click the link in the description below. There's no denying getting Google reviews for your business is super important. Not only does it help with your ads, but it also helps when a customer comes to your Google profile or your website and sees that you have 5 stars or close to 5 stars with actual reviews and people saying how much they enjoy working with your company. It gives a thing called social proof to your business, which means that people see, oh, hundreds and thousands of other people have reviewed this business and had a really good experience. The proof is there that I should be able to work with this company and have a good experience as well. So if you're trying your best to get Google reviews and you're struggling, or maybe this is your first time getting Google reviews, here's exactly what I do with my marketing clients to get them the most Google reviews as possible. And hey, if you want to work with us, we specialize in doing custom websites for clients, and we also specialize in doing digital ads for clients, which brings in hundreds of leads for their businesses and helps them really scale and grow their company. If you'd like to learn more or you'd like to work with us, click the link in the description below for a free consultation. Okay, the very first thing that you need to understand when you're trying to get Google reviews is the best time to do it is at the point of completion. Point of completion. Or another way of saying this is like at their peak of happiness, right? So, someone finds out about your business and they're starting to learn more and they're working with you, and then you finish the project. Right here is where they're the happiest, right? So you did a fantastic job on their project, you did a fantastic job with their service, and you crushed it, you nailed it, you knocked it out of the park. At that exact time, when they're the happiest, that's when you go for the ask of getting your Google review. Alex Hormozi talks about this, so I'm just going to steal this directly from him. But when someone goes to a restaurant and they're looking for a steak and they're starving, they sit down, they eat the steak. At the time of completion, once they finish that steak, that's when they're the happiest. They had a pain point, they had an issue coming in, they got the solution, and this is when they're satisfied the most. They're happiest at the most. This is when you go for your Google review because they are at their happiest. They're at that point of completion where they're like, that was amazing. Take a quick note there. I didn't say, hey, they asked for a Google review days after this person came to the restaurant and had their steak. No, they asked for it at the exact time that they had finished the steak and they were the happiest. The reason being is you give it a couple more days, guess what? They're hungry again. They want a different steak or some other kind of food. I give you this analogy or storyline really more to just drive home the point of at the exact point of completion for someone, that's when you need to ask for the Google review because they're most likely and happiest to give that Google review to you. Okay, so here's a couple ways that we go about with our marketing agency clients and for my own businesses to get Google reviews. The first one is QR codes. QR codes. Now, I do this specifically in my accounting firm. And the way we do it is basically once we sit down with the customer and we say, hey, here are your completed taxes, here's how much you're gonna pay to the IRS, or here's how much your refund is, we did all this work, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, wow, this is amazing, you saved me a bunch of money, this is fantastic. We go, hey, here's your QR code to leave us a Google review. All you gotta do is just take a picture of it and you can leave a Google review. It's a great way to take out that barrier of entry for someone of having to type in your business name into Google. You're hoping that they type your business name in, you're hoping that they pull up Google, and you're hoping that they sign in, and then you're hoping that they leave you a Google review. Don't leave it up to chance. Take out as many barriers to entry as possible, and those QR codes really help with that. Now, I will say one of the things that kind of stinks is the person has to be logged into their Google account. So sometimes that is a barrier to entry for people, but your job as the business owner, as the marketer, is to take away as many barriers to entry as possible, and QR codes really help with that. Before I dive into how to get Google reviews for your business, the last one that I mentioned in this video is the way that we do it for our clients and brings in a ton of reviews. So make sure you stick around for that. Okay, the next one is some kind of cards at the end of completion. Again, I always kind of mix in QR codes with this, but handing a card to someone afterwards saying, hey, if you could leave us a Google review, that would be really helpful for our business, and we hope we provided a fantastic product or service to you today. Please take this card, take a picture of the QR code, and leave us a Google review. It really helps our business. Adding cards into your process is a fantastic way to get someone through the sales cycle of giving you a Google review, especially if you tie it in with QR codes. You want to have that standalone piece that someone can have and they can take a picture of the QR code and then give you a Google review. Now the next piece is you want to have text messaging integrated in. Text messaging. Okay, why do you want to have text messaging integrated in? You have to look at Google reviews as a sales cycle, right? So if you follow up with a cold lead, you probably follow up a couple times before that cold lead actually becomes a client of yours. Same thing with Google reviews. You have to ask a couple different times in order to get that Google review. People are busy, people got a lot going on, they're taking kids to school, they're getting groceries, they're getting things delivered, they're doing their job, they're running a business, they're doing a bunch of different things. If you give your card out to someone with a QR code right at the time that you finish their product or service and they have to run out and get their kids to school, they're not gonna give you a Google review then. However, if you send a text message to them a couple times over the next few weeks, it gives them the opportunity and the reminders to sit down and actually give that Google review to you. Here's a little tip too. Don't look at text messaging as like, this is annoying or, this will make a customer mad and leave us a bad review. You have to look at it as I'm helping this customer out because I know they have a lot going on. And because I know they have a lot going on, I'm just sending a gentle reminder of, hey, it would really help us out if you can leave this Google review. I understand text messaging isn't at the point of completion, right? So it's not at the exact time that they just finished their steak. However, if you can't get them at that exact time that they finish their steak, you still want to be able to send them reminders afterwards. The best time is when they finish their steak, but sending reminders afterwards doesn't hurt. Okay, this last one combines all of these together and gets our clients the most Google reviews for their businesses. And that is having some sort of commission system. Commission. Okay, so what do I mean by this? Basically, people like helping people. If you're asking for a Google review for your business, most of the time there's no emotional connection there, right? So it's just a business. It's just a brand, it's just a logo. There's no emotional pool there. However, if John just finished doing HVAC services in your house and John reaches out to you and hands you a card at the end of it and says, hey, if I did a fantastic job, if I did a really good job today, take a picture of this QR code and leave us a Google review and mention my name. If you mention my name in the Google review, I'm given $25 from the business and it would really help me out if you did that. There's also a bonus at the end of the month that if I get the most Google reviews, I get a bonus too. So it would really help me out if you left that Google review. And the reason you want to set this up is not only does it help your employee John, not only does it incentivize your employee John to ask for that Google review, because if you don't do this, what's the incentive for John to ask for the Google review other than to help the business out? If you incentivize John with getting a commission, he's going to ask for that Google review. And if you go with this approach, the customer doesn't feel like they're giving the business a review, which they are. They're actually giving John a review. And not only are they giving him a review, but they're also giving him money that's not out of his pocket. It's free money for John, and John just did a great job on the service. So yeah, I want to give him $25. So having some kind of commission set up with your employees where they're giving cards, each one have QR codes on them. They circle their name on the card like, hey, my name's John, mention my name in the review, and I get $25. I hope my service was really, really good today. You can also integrate in text messaging, automated text messaging, where essentially for the next couple days, they get a text reminder saying, hey, John would really appreciate it if you left that review. Again, emotional pull on the customer to help John out. It's a really, really fantastic way to get Google reviews for your business. And honestly, this strategy to get Google reviews for your business is one of the best, if not the best way to get Google reviews for your business. Look, if you want to work with my marketing agency to get more leads for your businesses so you can get more Google reviews, click the link in the description below for a free consultation. We can talk and look over your website. We can talk and look over your digital ads and see how we can get more leads for your business. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video on how to get more Google reviews for your business. Click here to watch another one.